At its greatest extent, the infamous Ottoman Empire was truly a force to behold, controlling much of the civilized world, regulating the vast network of cultural interactions within it, and creating a unified and stabilized empire as their predecessors had. Considered the rightful successors of the once dominant Roman and Byzantine empires, the Ottomans introduced a new type of surprisingly efficient imperial expansion in the name of their religion, Islam, and found much success in the dispersal of this radical monotheistic faith. At its peak, the Ottoman Empire was an expansive multi-ethnic and multicultural state that adopted both Roman and Islamic traditions and unified the two ideologies under one rule. In addition to controlling an impressive 29 provinces, the Ottoman capital, Istanbul, also became one of the most prosperous cities of the early modern world. As it reached the height of its power in the 16th and 17th century, the Ottoman Empire spanned 3 continents, controlling much of southeastern Europe, the Middle East, and North Africa, and uniting both the eastern and western worlds for around 6 centuries. Through its effective utilization of sultans and janissaries, the Ottoman Empire forged a legacy of imperial greatness that would last for generations to come. The expansive and ubiquitous Ottoman Empire was not surprisingly one of humble beginnings. As the great Seljuk Empire continued its steady decline, many small Turkish states began to appear between the frontier lands of the Byzantine Empire and the shrinking Seljuk state around the end of the 11th century. This was due to the pressure after the invasion of the Mongol hordes in the east, in addition to the Seljuk Empire allocating some more troublesome tribes to these areas. However, as these various states jockeyed for supremacy, one particular tribe arose from one of these smaller emirates, established in northwestern Anatolia after 1071. Led by the Turkish Muslim warrior Osman I, the followers of Osman, the Osmanlılar, Turkish for those associated with Osman, who were later referred to as Ottomans, eventually began to absorb nearby tribes around them. They were able to do this for 2 main reasons. First, the Ottomans had the most advantageous position of all the Turkish states near the Byzantine frontier. They were centered at Soga, which is close to the Nicaea area, which had been the Greek Byzantine capital between 1204 and 1261. This prime location gave the Ottomans easy access to the Byzantine front. Second, the Ottomans took the concept of Ghazi, being a warrior who conquered in the name of Islam, to heart more than any other state and made it its overall collective ideal. Through Islam, the Ottomans established an imperial rule based on their religion. The supreme Ottoman ruler, the Sultan, uniquely had control over both the politics and the religion of the empire, mainly ruling by the Islamic doctrine, the Sharia. In fact, an important reason for the Ottoman rise is often attributed to a long line of competent sultans who ruled after each other in quick succession. Important sultans include Osman, Orhan, Murad, Bayezid, and Mehmed. Among these sultans is also a tradition of cultural tolerance, in which the Ottoman Empire would respect many of the monotheistic cultures it conquered, the so-called people of the book, which led to a much more stable empire in general, and continued the Ottoman expansion. While Ghazi warriors fought for Islam, the greatest military asset of the Ottoman Empire was a standing paid army of Christian soldiers, the Janissaries. Originally created in 1330 by Sultan Orhan, the Janissaries were Christian captains from conquered territories. Educated in the Islamic faith and trained as soldiers, the Janissaries were forced to provide annual tribute in the forms of military service. Eventually, the Janissaries became incorporated into the elite private army of the Sultan. The Janissaries were ultimately very important to Ottoman expansion, as they provided a well-trained and well-armed regiment that allowed continuous growth. Long considered the holy grail of Islamic conquest, Constantinople, the crown of the Byzantine Empire, was considered the prime initiative of many aspiring sultans. However, Greek fire, a courageous army under experienced generals, and reinforced walls kept Constantinople free of the Ottomans for many years. However, once a considerable amount of land around Constantinople had been conquered, the Ottomans eagerly turned their forces back to Constantinople. To prepare for the siege, Sultan Mehmed II brought with him more than 100,000 troops, transport ships, and an infamous cannon that could fire a 1,200-pound projectile for more than a mile. However, even with the force outnumbering the army of Constantinople by more than 10 to 1, the Ottomans struggled against the people of Constantine for more than a month before finally, on May 29, 1453, the Ottomans broke through Constantinople's defenses and conquered the city. The conquest of Constantinople marked the epitome of Ottoman expansion, hinting at a powerful rule that will continue for many centuries to come. The slumbering Ottoman threat had awoken.